This is what SafeDose looks like after you start it up on the iPad. You always start by selecting the patient's weight. So I can select the patient's weight here, or I can estimate the weight using the Broslow color length. So if the child measures, let's say, yellow on the Broslow tape, you would select here. Then you can look for a medication in various ways. You can look for it via alphabetical list, so I can click here. Let's say we pick Adenocard, first dose, IV, and here's the drug for the selected 12 to 14 kilogram child. Over here is the drug name followed by the indication. This is the first dose. I could have selected the second dose. This is the dosing in milligrams per kilogram. And then we have this grid. At the top here we have the milligram dose for that weight, the concentration, sometimes there's more than one concentration to select from, and the exact mils. This mils is a big feature of the application. With other calculators you have to do this yourself, and that's a big place for errors. So looking at the content, you can see that there's content for how to administer, adverse reactions. We also have links to external websites, drugbank.canada or drugs.com. I'll click on drugs.com. I can scroll down to get encyclopedic details for adenosine down below. Back to the app, let me show you how you can search for drugs in different ways. Click on the little home icon to go home. Let's try search. I can search for a drug by typing all or part of its name. Let's type DEX for dexamethasone. This is a good example to show you our indications. A big part of SafeDose is the content. We have over 1,000 drugs and they've been classified according to indication. This makes it much quicker to get your dosing information. Unlike a medical encyclopedia, for example, the drugs.com I just clicked on, where you find the drug name and have to search through reams of text to find out the different indications and what the dosing is. Inside of SafeDose, you look for the drug name and you see listed the different uses or indications. Then you would just go click on one of them, for example here, and see the dosing that's exactly appropriate for that indication. Let's search a different way. I'm going to go by category. So here you'll see the categories. Let's pick seizures. Let's say the child is seizing and we're going to give the child diazepam by IV. I'd like to show you the logging feature. So as we give meds, as we look them up, we can simply press this administer button by the hypodermic needle and it will keep track of what we're doing. So here it says that we just gave 3.9 milligrams of diazepam at this time. Let's say that we later give it again. I could click here and it would time the second administration of the same drug. I could pick another drug and administer that. I can also order drugs by clicking on the little RX symbol at the top. Another thing I can do is I can record notes at any time. The little plus sign is an event note. If I click here, I can type something, patient still seizing, for example, and it'll record it. The big plus is the title that would appear. So a real feature of our system is that you don't have to enter information about the patient other than their weight or estimated weight using the Broslow color to start tracking information. Later on I can find the patient name and enter that here. Jane Smith. And I can add any other information at the top. So I could enter responder Peter Lazar. I could also enter information about the patient status. So this is all content I could enter at the time or later, and at any time I can click and edit that information. Then I can finish it up, polish it up later, and click on this email icon. It will generate a nice PDF report that I can go ahead and email to somebody, and it goes ahead and gives it a date and a case number. I'll go ahead and send this off here. Now let's say we have a second patient. I could click here. I could also go to the home by clicking there, but I could always click here and pick a different weight. So let's say this child we have an exact weight for. So in the 6 to 7 kilogram. I can click there. Notice that when you have an exact weight as opposed to a weight that's measured with the Broslow tape, it's no longer colored at the top. So that's how you know whether you're measuring by weight or by estimated weight. Let's go back to the home here. This time I'm going to go ahead back into categories. We'll pick resuscitation and let's give adenosine. I want to show you how you can order a drug. If I clicked here, it would order that, and then later I could administer here. And notice that I'm keeping a log of all the patients that I've seen here, so we're really keeping track of all of this. I can go ahead and enter the patient information again. I could email that along if I wanted to. One thing I couldn't show you here on this emulator that I'm using is the image capture feature. It's really cool. So I really recommend that you download the app and give it a try. This could be useful not only for taking a picture of the patient, but also it could be used to take a picture of the EKG, anything else that you want to document. And do remember, our system is applicable to both children and adults. We've got weights up to 130 kilograms. Now I'm going to show you the Infusions feature. So let's go over here to the home and let's go to category. We can look for infusions, and let's say we're giving a dopamine infusion 1600 micrograms per milliliter. Here you can see we have lots of information about dopamine, including mixing instructions. And actually we have mixing instructions not only for infusions but lots of other medications throughout the system. Up above, if I click on drip chart, I get a handy drip chart that tells me the mils per hour for the microgram per kilogram per minute setting that I choose. I'll show you our impressive barcode scanning feature in a separate video. Other than that, I've shown you the main features, but I haven't even started to get into the content. I highly recommend you download the app and browse through our thousands of pages of content. Thanks for viewing.